How was the Pepsi brand established? What if we told you that Pepsi was almost dead during World War I? The increased sugar prices during the war had struck hard on Pepsi, and it was forced to declare bankruptcy in 1923. But how did this brand manage to rise from bankruptcy and establish itself as one of the leading soft drinks in the world? After all, a company that has changed 11 logos in the past century and has assets worth over $100 billion must have a fascinating story behind its success. So, let's dive in and see the rollercoaster journey of the Pepsi brand. You'll be shocked to see the many ups and downs Pepsi has faced. Pepsi was first created in 1893 by a pharmacist named Caleb Bradham in New Bern, North Carolina. It was originally called Brad's Drink and was marketed as a digestive aid. 5 years later, Caleb Bradham renamed the beverage Pepsi Cola, a name chosen with intention and purpose. The Pepsi part was derived from its marketing appeal as a remedy for dyspepsia or indigestion, promising relief to those with digestive troubles. Meanwhile, cola signified the popular cola flavor that characterized the drink. Here's a fun fact. Some people thought the name Pepsi came from the digestive enzyme pepsin, but pepsin was never an ingredient in Pepsi Cola. Yes, that's right. Originally, the recipe for Pepsi Cola featured sugar and vanilla, giving it a rich and satisfying flavor profile. Bradham's vision was to craft a fountain drink that delighted the taste buds and offered functional benefits. He aimed for a beverage that could aid digestion while providing an energizing boost, making it an appealing choice for customers seeking both taste and wellness, though we still wonder how it helped with digestion without pepsin. Anyway, in 1903, Bradham moved the production of Pepsi from his Coty drugstore to a larger rented warehouse. This decision pointed towards the beginning of something big. That year alone, Bradham sold an impressive 7,968 gallons. But here's where it gets even better. Just a year later, in 1904, Pepsi started being sold in handy 6-ounce bottles, and the sales skyrocketed to a whopping 19,848 gallons. That's more than double the previous year's sales. Fast forward to 1909, and the brand made a major splash with its very first celebrity endorsement. Barney Oldfield, a well-known person in automobile racing, called Pepsi a bully drink. Refreshing, invigorating, a fine bracer before a race. Such a public endorsement from a famous figure only helped to boost Pepsi's reputation and sales. And as if that wasn't enough, Pepsi came up with a catchy slogan, "Delicious and healthful," which stayed the backbone of its advertising campaigns for the next 20 years. Fast forward to the end of World War I, and the tables turned from great successes to a near-death experience. The war had caused sugar prices to swing wildly, and Pepsi's heavy speculation on this volatile market led to financial disaster. These losses were too much for the company to bear, and in 1923 the brand declared bankruptcy. It felt like the end of the road. But was it? Pepsi's assets were sold, and a glimmer of hope appeared when Roy C. McGargle bought the Pepsi trademark. But could he turn things around? Unfortunately, his efforts to revive the brand fell flat, as finding the necessary funding proved to be an uphill battle. Then came Charles Guth, president of Loft Inc., stepping in like a knight in shining armor. Loft was a candy company with stores that featured soda fountains, and Guth was determined to make a change. After being denied discounts on Coca-Cola syrup, Guth decided enough was enough and sought an alternative. He acquired Pepsi's assets and set Loft's chemists to work, reformulating the Pepsi-Cola syrup. Between 1922 and 1933, the Coca-Cola company was given not one, not two, but 3 chances to buy Pepsi. Each time, they declined the offer, unknowingly passing up on a rival that would one day grow into one of their biggest competitors. Every no from Coca-Cola only added fuel to the fire and a burning passion for Pepsi to become bigger and better. Then came the Great Depression, a time of immense struggle and hardship across the globe. From 1929 to 1939, the world faced unemployment, widespread poverty, and countless business failures. It was a challenging era, but sometimes tough times spark innovation. Well, that's exactly what happened with Pepsi. In 1934, Pepsi introduced a 12-ounce bottle at just 5 cents. It was the same price as the typical 6.5-ounce serving. This clever strategy offered cash-strapped consumers twice the soda for the same price, making Pepsi an appealing choice during such trying economic times. Between 1936 and 1938, Pepsi's profits doubled, making it a serious competitor in the soft drink market. By 1940, they launched a catchy and unforgettable radio jingle, Nickel Nickel, performed by the Tune Twisters. The jingle's looping lyrics stuck in everyone's heads, delivering the message loud and clear. Pepsi Cola hits the spot. 12 full ounces, that's a lot. Twice as much for a nickel too. Pepsi Cola is the drink for you. In 1941, the Pepsi Cola Company was merged into Loft, and the name Loft Inc. was changed to the Pepsi Cola Company. Then, year after year, Pepsi continued to innovate, adapt, and grow. By 1950, a major turning point came when Alfred N. Steele, a former vice president of Coca-Cola, stepped in as the CEO. Steele, who was married to Hollywood actress Joan Crawford, brought bold ideas and a sharp focus on advertising. His giant campaigns and creative promotions turned Pepsi into a fierce competitor, increasing the company's net earnings an incredible 11-fold during the 1950s. Tragically, after Steele's passing, Joan Crawford didn't fade into the background. Instead, she took on an active role as a director in the company, keeping the momentum alive. Then the following decades were about building an empire. In 1965, Pepsi merged with Frito-Lay, incorporating beloved snack brands like Fritos, Doritos, and Lay's into its portfolio. Snacks and soda were a match made in heaven, and Pepsi was just getting started. By the late 70s and 80s, the company went on a spree of acquisitions, adding Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and KFC to its ranks. However, in 1997, these restaurant chains branched off into a separate company, now known as Yum Brands. And the story doesn't stop there. Understanding that people's thirst goes beyond soda, PepsiCo ventured into the bottled water market in 1994 with the launch of its Aquafina brand. Aquafina quickly became a household name, climbing to the ranks of one of the top 5 bottled water brands globally. Although initially criticized for using public water sources, PepsiCo embraced transparency in 2007 by updating its labels to reflect the water's origins. Oh, we forgot that in 1998, PepsiCo took a big step towards offering healthier options by acquiring the Tropicana and Dole Juice brands from the Seagram Company. But they didn't stop there. Just a few years later, in 2001, PepsiCo merged with the Quaker Oats Company, forming Quaker Foods and Beverages. This merger brought exciting and beloved brands into PepsiCo's lineup, like Quaker Oats cereals and Gatorade sports drinks. By the early 2000s, PepsiCo was home to some of the world's favorite products, including Pepsi Cola, Frito-Lay snacks, Lipton tea, Tropicana juices, and rolled gold pretzels. Then came the time when Pepsi expanded internationally. In 2008, the company purchased a controlling interest in JSC Lebedyansky, Russia's largest juice manufacturer, and not long after, in 2011, it completed the acquisition of Wimbill Dan Foods. These moves transformed PepsiCo into the largest food and beverage company in Russia. Beyond that, PepsiCo expanded into China, Brazil, and several other emerging markets. Meanwhile, the 2010s were all about innovation. PepsiCo experimented with new flavors and ideas, such as the wildly popular Doritos Locos Tacos in partnership with Taco Bell in 2012 and Mountain Dew Kickstart in 2013. They even entered the sparkling water game with Bubbly in 2018 and introduced Gatorade Zero that same year. Building on the success of Flamin' Hot Cheetos, PepsiCo infused that spicy flavor into other fan favorites, including Doritos, Fritos, Lay's, and Ruffles chips, proving once again that PepsiCo knows how to keep their fans excited. As of 2025, PepsiCo reported total assets amounting to an impressive $100.5 billion. Just 2 years earlier, in 2023, the company achieved a net income of $9.16 billion, alongside an operating income of $11.98 billion. This is just insane. So, this was everything about the evolution and growth of Pepsi. It's been over a century since its invention, and the company has faced lots of challenges. Still, it has continuously adapted, innovated, and expanded into new territory. Let us know in the comments what other topics you want us to cover next. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.